Welcome to the Steve Stine Guitar Podcast, brought to you by GuitarZoom.com. If you want to improve your guitar playing, keep listening. If you want to improve even faster, go to GuitarZoom.com, where you'll find all of Steve's premium courses, masterclasses, and memberships that'll help you quickly and easily improve your playing. Now here's your host, Steve Stine.
Hey everybody, Steve here. So this is just a basic little practice thing that you can do to work on all 7 of your modes, all in the first position, and kind of use them to compare to each other so you can kind of see how everything works. There's a couple things I want to point out to you. One is a visual thing, and one is the modal comparison thing. So when I start off here, I'm just doing everything in the key of C, okay? So I'm doing C major or C Ionian, right? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Major 7th is what I'm using here. And then I'm doing the octave. I'm just making a simple pattern that's going to go all the way up and all the way back down. Now, when I move to Dorian, I have to understand that Dorian is going to be minor, right? I need that minor 3rd with a major 6th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And then I simply move right into Phrygian from there, which is going to be the flatted 2. It's a minor 3rd, but it also has a flatted 2 or a minor 2nd there. And then from Phrygian, we'd move into Lydian, which is going to be major with a sharp 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There it is again. Okay, so we could play that. Major 4 there. And then that moves right into Mixolydian, which is major with a flatted 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's got that flat 7 right there. Okay. And then we go from Mixolydian into Aeolian, which is minor with the minor 6th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then that moves into Locrian, or Locrian, however you like to say that, which is a flatted 2, 1, 2, and it's also minor, but it also has the flatted 5 there, okay, so... And then I just finish it off by going back into major, okay? Now, one thing I want you to recognize as you're working on diatonic shapes, and you'll notice I often play what's referred to as spread fingerings, where I'm putting 3 notes on each string. And the reason I do that is because it's easier for me to visualize not only the intervals, but the actual position that I'm playing in. And there's a little bit of a kind of a cool little secret to this. I guess it's not really a secret, but what I want you to understand is when you're playing these, I want you to start recognizing that you have 3 different groups that you're going to wind up visualizing. Whenever you're playing the actual spread fingering, which is like if I was doing major, for instance, or Ionian, you'll see I have 2 of them sitting right here. And then it follows that with the 1, 2, 4, right? And it follows that with the 1, 3, 4. Now, I'm not playing this note in our exercise, but we would have that. So I've got 2 strings that are 1, 2, 4, okay, spread out. And I've got 1, 2, 4 together. And then I got 1, 3, 4. Now, as you start exploring these shapes, what I want you to start recognizing is that you're going to see these patterns connected the same way every time. The only thing is we're missing a string in here. And the string we're missing is that had we had a 7th string up on top here, we'd actually have 3 groups of spread fingerings. And then 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, and then 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4. And let me show you that walking through the positions that we just did. So again, major I just showed you, but let's go to Dorian. So Dorian, we start off with a 1, 3, 4. Now again, I'm not necessarily playing that fingering. I just want you to visualize this. So 1, 3, 4, right?
If you're enjoying this episode and you'd like to support the podcast, go to GuitarZoom.com and consider becoming a premium member. There are 3 memberships to choose from. VIP, which gives you instant access to a library of short but powerful courses as well as new bite-sized lessons each month. There's also Play Songs that gives you step-by-step lessons so you can learn to play your favorite songs fast. And finally, there's Masterclass, university-level training on everything from soloing to music theory, from blues to home recording. For more info about these memberships and all the premium courses available to you, go to GuitarZoom.com. Now back to the podcast.
But then it takes off to a spread fingering. So I'm going to see 3 of them. And then right after that, I'm going to see 1, 2, 4 again twice. And it's always going to do that. There's always going to be one missing in this pattern. Okay, whether it's a spread, a 1, 2, 4, a 1, 3, 4, whatever, you're always going to have one of the pattern that's missing from each one of these. So that's the trick, is being aware of that. So when I'm doing Ionian, I'm missing a spread. I'm doing 2 of these when there should have been 3. Okay, and again, that's this hypothetical string that's gone here. And then 1, 2, 4 twice, and 1, 3, 4 twice. Okay, when I do the Dorian, I'm missing a 1, 3, 4 hypothetical up here. Okay, so I've got 1, then that means I'm going to move into my 3 spreads and my 1, 2, 4 twice. Then we move to Phrygian. I've got 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, which is followed by 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, which is followed by 3 spreads. Now again, there's a hypothetical that's missing down here. You see what I'm saying? And then when we move to Lydian, I've got a spread, okay, but I'm missing the other spreads up here. I got 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, and then there'd be a spread, and then the other spreads down here, okay? When I move to Mixolydian, I've got my 3 spreads right away, which means I got 1, 2, 4 twice coming, and 1, 3, 4, then I'm missing a 1, 3, 4. When I move to, I'm on Mixolydian, so when I move to Aeolian, I've got my 1, 3, 4, which means I'm going to have 3 spreads, and then 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, but I, again, hypothetical run out here. And then Locrian, or Locrian, however you like to say it, 1, 2, 4 twice, 1, 3, 4 twice, then 3 spreads, but I'm missing, again, that last one. So it takes a little while to get comfortable with, but understand that symmetry coexists around the entire fretboard. It's just that it's not perfect because you're oftentimes missing 1 or maybe 2 of those somewhere, when you do those. But it helps a lot because if you wind up on a 1, 2, 4, the next one's going to be a 1, 2, 4. Okay? Or if it shifts from 1, 2, 4 to 1, 3, 4, you're going to have 2, 1, 3, 4s. And again, it's not a perfect concept, but it's something to start getting comfortable with because it'll make it easier for you to memorize these. So the first thing is getting used to the shapes, right? And then getting used to understanding if I'm looking at the 3 major modes, which are Ionian and Lydian and Mixolydian, what are the similarities and what are the differences most importantly, right? So obviously the similarities, they're all major, right? The big difference is if you're playing in Ionian, you've got that major 7th. Okay? If you're playing in Lydian, you've got the raised 4th with a major 7th. And if you've got Mixolydian, you've got your standard 4. Okay? But you've got the flatted 7. So it's really important to get comfortable with being able to sort of understand the differences and the similarities between the 3 respective major modes. And then, of course, you got your minor modes, which if you were in Aeolian or natural minor, you've got your minor with a minor 6th with your dominant 7, right? If you're playing in Phrygian, you've got the flatted 2. And if you're playing in Locrian, well, let's go to Dorian. So I got my minor 3rd, but I've got my major 6th. And that also has the flatted 7 or the minor 7 as well. I tend to call it a flat 7, and I probably shouldn't do that. I should probably just call it a minor 7. But That's what it is. And then you've got your Locrian, which is your flatted 2, as well as the flatted 5. And then the flatted or minor 7. Okay? So, again, I'm sure you get my language, but because the more you speak like this, the more you get used to it and people know what you're talking about. But again, the point is those are the things I'd like you to get out of this lesson, is understanding, comparing apples to apples, if you will, and then being able to see those visual shapes are really important too. So take care, stay positive. It's a great little practice exercise, and you can do this in any key you want. And again, don't just play it as an exercise from a finger perspective, which is great, but really start learning how to compare each one and understand the difference in sound and why they're different. Next time on the Steve Stine Guitar Podcast. Hey, Steve Stine here, and today what I'd like to do is talk to you about a really cool thing that you can do, which is writing a really cool idea, a riff or whatever you want to call it, and then all the options that you have sometimes with chord changes in the background. Hey, Steve Stine here from GuitarZoom.com, and thank you so much for listening to this podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, can I ask you a favor? Please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend. Your feedback means more to me than you'll ever know. And be sure to check out my YouTube channels where you'll find over 1,000 videos to help you with your guitar playing. Thanks again for listening. Stay positive, keep playing, and keep having fun.
If you'd like some help with your guitar playing but you're not sure how to get started, go to GuitarZoom.com and look for the Help Me Choose survey. By answering a few simple questions, you'll get Steve's personal recommendation of the perfect course for you. All this and more is available for you at GuitarZoom.com.